Star Ocean: The Second Story was a 1998 PlayStation game that is widely considered to be the best in the series. So when a remastered version, The Second Story R, released in 2023 to high praise from fans, the game had been on my radar. Previously, I had only played 2003's Till the End of Time, the third installment of the series, a game I enjoyed, but was not blown away by. Last December, I decided to play the remaster of the first Star Ocean game, First Departure R. A relatively short RPG that I ultimately did enjoy as well. I decided to follow it up by diving right into the second installment, and was quickly surprised by both the graphical and quality of life upgrades from the first game. Before starting the game, I did some research on all the recruitable characters available to play. By default, you have two characters, Claude and Reyna, and the game asks you to pick which of the two will be your MC. Although you will follow both characters throughout your playthrough, this choice changes quite a few aspects of the game, concentrating more on the perspective of the character you chose and makes subtle changes to the events that take place. Of the 11 recruitable characters in the game, you will only be allowed to recruit 6 of them over the course of the game, for a total of 8 playable characters, so I carefully chose which characters I wanted to recruit over the course of my journey. Both Claude and Reyna have a character that is exclusive to their playthroughs, so I chose to play as Reyna based off of her exclusive recruitable character. I chose the hardest difficulty, known as Universe Mode, and the game begins in Reyna's hometown, where her mother tells her not to enter the forest ever since the sorcery globe crashed down on their planet. But Reyna, being a carefree spirit, runs off into the forest anyways.
Do I have to remind you about all the crazy things going on since that sorcery globe crashed down on us? Just last night we had a huge earthquake. The animals are all going wild and attacking people. It's too dangerous right now. Besides, there's also a... Wait a minute!
Right off the bat, I couldn't help but admire the graphical upgrade compared to the Star Ocean 1 remake, replacing 2D pre-rendered backgrounds with a fully fleshed out 3D world that is honestly pretty beautiful. The more I played the game, however, I started noticing how little some of the 2D sprites look like their anime-drawn counterparts.
It's so pretty. I really wish my mother wouldn't worry so much about me. This place couldn't possibly be any safer.
Look out!
Huh?
It looks like Reyna should have listened to her mother, as some big gorilla-looking thing attacks her in the forest, but we are saved by a boy wearing strange clothes.
Go on, run!
Whew. Good thing I made it in time.
Who is this guy? He's dressed all weird. And what was that light?
Oh, good. I was hoping you'd wait for me.
I'm sorry I ran away like that.
Reyna decides she's afraid of strangers and runs off after the boy saves her, but Reyna ends up feeling bad about running off and waits for him to catch up with her. We learn that the boy's name is Claude, and he comes from a place called Earth.
Earth? Where is that?
Well, how can I put it? It's really far away from here. Really far away. Probably.
A faraway place? That's really amazing.
Reyna brings Claude back to her village, introduces him to her mother and then the village elder, where Reyna tells him that she believes Claude is some kind of hero from the legends, wielding the Sword of Light, here to save the world. Makes perfect sense.
Hero! He's finally appeared!
What?
It's true! He has the Sword of Light and everything!
Our world. It has been told in our history that when the people of Expel are suffering under the threat of impending doom, a hero will appear in garbs of foreign make, and with his Sword of Light, he will save us all.
The Elder is stoked about the appearance of the hero, but Claude has no idea what they are talking about. The Elder then tells the story of a meteor that crashed into a town in the kingdom of El. That meteor would come to be known as the Sorcery Globe, and with it came hordes of monsters that randomly appeared around the Kingdom of El.
At first, people saw it as merely a rare and remarkable celestial event. But before long, a cataclysm took place. Great hordes of monsters suddenly appeared in the once peaceful nation, and the havoc they spread devastated the Kingdom of El. There has never been anything like this before in our world. Not until the arrival of that meteor. It only stands to reason that the two events are related to each other. The meteor came to be called the Sorcery Globe, a stone of pure demonic evil. To accept that you are not the hero of light after all.
How can this be?
I'm sorry. This is probably not what you all wanted to hear.
Not at all. It is our own fault forcing you to be someone you are not in the first place.
I'm sorry.
Reina, feeling butthurt about Claude not being the hero, runs out of the house, and running back to the forest, we are introduced to the combat system. Right away, there are noticeable differences in this combat system compared to Star Ocean 1. This game introduces a break system where after whittling down your enemy's shield, it will break, causing the enemy to be stunned for a certain amount of time. Like the first game, the combat is very comparable to the early games of the Tales series. Since playing the first game, I noticed a lot of similarities to the Tales series, and doing some research that the original Star Ocean game had consisted of staff that had originally been working on Tales of Phantasia, the first Tales game, but left after being unhappy with the game's development process forming Tri-Ace. After this battle, we get a flashback where Reina overhears her mother saying that she's been hiding the fact that her husband, Reina's father, has died and that Reina is not actually her daughter, a pendant being Reina's only clue as to who her real parents are.
I am sure this is just as much a shock for you as it is for her. But you are her mother. You need to stay calm for her sake.
Stay calm? How am I supposed to stay calm? My husband is dead.
Westa.
Without him, what am I going to do? I still haven't told her yet. Now that he's gone, I'll have to tell her all by myself. Can you imagine having to tell your daughter that she's not your real child? I knew I should have thrown away that damn pendant. Why didn't I get rid of the last connection to her real parents? She would have been mine, my real daughter.
You'll change your tune soon enough, Reina. Once you witness my greatness, my
On the way back to the village, Reina is confronted by someone named Alan, a friend of hers who is not acting himself, spouting some nonsense about a stone and decides he is going to kidnap Reina and force her into marriage.
the power that's pouring out of my body, even as we speak.
Alan, what happened to you?
Whatever. Take her away.
Let me go!
Fret not, my dear. Soon you won't be able to live without me. The stone has told me so.
We end up in Alan's mansion and find a secret passage that leads to our first dungeon, some mines under the mansion. It doesn't take me long to realize that the hardest difficulty is, well, hard, with the game expecting you to get perfect dodges to boost your gauge on the right side of the screen that will provide buffs to your party. Messing up even one dodge, however, will completely reset this gauge, and on Universe difficulty, it only takes 2 or 3 hits to die, so I die quite a bit.
You ready for this?
Ah, good.
I finally get the hang of it, however, and make it through the mines and end up at an altar where Alan ends up chaining Reina to a table where a floating green stone appears, appearing to be the source of Alan's madness. Just in time, however, we are saved by our hero of light, Claude, and Alan is suddenly turned into a monster.
Reina, my dear. You should know by now that you can't escape from me.
Alan, what is wrong with you? You weren't like this before.
No, I wasn't. I've changed, and I have the stone to thank for that.
Alan!
But that's a trifle matter not worth killing yourself over. Shall we begin the ceremony?
Reina!
That's close enough.
So you're Alan. Let Reina go. Do you have any idea what you're doing?
If you'll excuse me, sir, we are in the middle of a holy ceremony. In just a moment, we will be together as one. I would appreciate it if you would show some respect. Now then, my Reina.
No! Mr. Kenny, help me!
Stop it! This isn't anything holy! You can't force someone into marriage like this!
Force? I think you're a tad mistaken here. We are in love with each other. Love with each other. Love!
Alan?
Love with...
Oh no!
Mr. Kenny!
Damn it! Look out!
And here we get our first boss battle, which does take me quite a few tries. I'm quickly learning that I'm terrible at dodging, and we are given Claude during this battle at only level 1, which on Universe difficulty means he literally dies in one hit.
Don't let your guard down!
I'm not gonna lose!
After about 8 or 9 attempts, Monster Island finally goes down, and although Reina thinks he is dead, it turns out he is okay and free of the stone's possession. Hooray!
Alan, you were such a good person, too.
I guess that stone was what caused all this trouble. Once it's gone, that was enough to turn him back to normal.
I'm so happy for you.
Let's go back to the mansion. We can figure everything out over there.
Reina, I'm sorry. I know I was unconscious during that time, but I feel terrible for doing those things to you.
Don't feel bad, Alan. Besides, you're back to normal, and I know the real Alan would never do anything like
Alan
that.
apologizes for kidnapping Reina, but it's water under the bridge for Reina. We return to Arlia, and Regis convinces Claude to go on a journey to be the big hero who will save the world. Reina convinces Claude to bring her along and tells him she wants to find her real parents, and we are tasked with heading to the city of Cross to meet the king to learn more about the Sorcery Globe.
Mr. Kenny?
All right, I'll do it.
On from him.
Oh, definitely. I know the king pretty well myself.
Let's go then, Reina.
See you later, Mom.
Take care, Reina. If things get tough, you're welcome back here anytime you want.
Now we get our first look at the world map, and for a while just ran around admiring the beautiful scenery. Again, super impressed by this remaster visually. The world map is also the only place I know of in the game with a free moving camera.
That's one for us.
Easy win.
After exploring a bit, we reach the city of Cross, and I feel the need to include this scene at the inn, where the innkeeper assumes Claude is Reina's boyfriend, and even asking her the next morning if they banged. This is going to be a common occurrence in this game, where everyone they meet seems to want to force them into a relationship. It's gonna happen.
Everything's going.
A lot.
Oh, as well as always, I'd say. Oh, found a new man, did you? Worrying Westa to no end, no doubt.
He's not my boyfriend. Yes, sire. We have begun to conduct an investigation into the Sorcery Globe. As part of that, we were wondering if your majesty could give us whatever information on the globe and its properties that you currently possess.
The next day, we meet with the king and are prompted to ask questions about El and the Sorcery Globe. But one thing you might notice is a character appearing in the bottom right corner who seems to be eavesdropping on the conversation. In all honesty, the king pretty much tells us nothing Regis didn't already tell us at the beginning of the game, and when we ask him about the Sorcery Globe, he says, "It would be accurate to say we know nothing at all." Very helpful, king. At the very least, he gives us some free equipment and a travel permit that will allow us through to the next area.
Here, His Majesty has granted you a travel permit, along with a small parting gift.
But your majesty...
Please, take it. It's a perfectly fitting payment for helping us root out the cause of this.
After we leave, we meet the woman who had been eavesdropping on us, a magician named Celine who asks if we would like to help her find an ancient treasure.
Well, it was pretty obvious that he was in the wrong. But I was much more impressed by what you did. You must be really strong.
Oh, hardly.
Oh, no need to thank me.
By the way, are you the couple who had an audience with the king earlier?
How did you know that?
I just happened to be on a tour of the castle at the time, and I overheard some guards gossiping about two people who got special permission to jump ahead in the king's schedule.
But how did you know that was us?
I wondered what made that pair so special. So I sneaked into the throne room to find out for myself. Certain cave. Would you be interested in joining me as I explore the cave?
I don't think we have the time for a treasure hunting expedition right now.
Oh? Are you sure? You might uncover a hint or two related to your own goal. Well, would you like to come along?
Sounds like fun. Let's take the offer.
Ah, I knew you'd come around. My name is Celine Jules. I'm a treasure hunting enthusiast. Now then, let me show you the map one more time.
I chose to agree to help Celine, and here is where we unlock quite a few systems of the game. Item creation, special skills, and guild missions. There's a lot to unpack here, and these first two systems come straight from Star Ocean 1, and can completely change your progress, and even break the game in multiple ways. And we will be using these skills to aid us in our journey, and also break it to give us huge advantages. The third feature, Guild Missions, is a new feature where you go to any town's guild to take on simple missions that essentially teaches you the mechanics of learning skills and item creation. I teach myself a couple skills, do some cooking and crafting, finish a few missions, and go to a nearby bridge to fish. There is one more system unlocked here called Private Actions, another feature from Star Ocean 1 where you can travel to towns you've previously been to see optional cutscenes to build friendship points with your party. And this game makes this system a lot easier to use than the first game. In Star Ocean 1, the game does not tell you when or where these private actions show up, and without a guide they are all very missable, but in Second Story R you could just check your world map at any time to see when new PAs appear. The quality of these cutscenes are a significant upgrade from Star Ocean 1, with a lot of the ones in this game giving deep lore into the characters, such as scenes with Claude trying to get back in contact with his home planet Earth, and even a whole side story where Celine falls in love with a prince.
Let's go.
We go to Cross Cave where I die about 20 times to these Mandragora looking enemies, but finally we find this ancient treasure, an ancient text, but our party can't decipher it.
Bingo! Here it is.
This is it?
What the heck is that?
I think it's some kind of ancient text. I wonder what it says.
How sad. This is beyond my deciphering ability.
We also get an item called the Laetitia Jewel, I don't know if I'm saying that right, which is a new combat feature that temporarily lets characters from other Star Ocean games join our battle and provide support. Although you can't actually play as these characters, Laetitia is going to carry me through quite a few battles. We reach our destination Kurik, but instead of staying here, we take a detour to the city of Harley. Taking the advice of the guide I'm using from Neoseeker, they recommend unlocking the pickpocketing skill. This skill lets you steal from any PC you meet in the game, and using this skill, we can start getting some really great equipment. But to do this, we need the Bandit's Glove, which costs 40,000 full from the shop in Harley, and for that we are going to need money. This is the perfect time to abuse our IC and specialty skills. This took some trial and error, however, and after leveling up some skills to unlock group appraising to lower the cost of shop items, I first crafted some random items using iron, thinking it would make me some good profit. Unfortunately, iron cost 200 full, and every item I crafted was worth 170 full or less, causing me to lose money. For my second attempt, I decided to learn the Master Chef skill, and made dishes using the vegetables the shop sold, and it did net me a profit. But it was very little profit, barely making a dent in my funds. After a little more research, I found my answer and started combining seafood and fruit to make a dish called Soul and Wine Sauce. Soul and Wine Sauce is a dish that increases your chances of making nectar for 2 turns. And nectar is a restorative item that I would be able to sell for over 100,000 full. I would be able to make 10 dishes per attempt, making 20 dishes each time I used the Soul and Wine Sauce, and the first few times I tried it, I did not successfully make a single nectar. But after a few soft resets, I started making a bunch of nectars, and sold them to the shop, making over 1 million full, and this is what I loved about the IC and skill systems in the first Star Ocean. With enough patience and trial and error, you can break certain parts of the game in so many different ways. Now, with an amazing money-making method, money is no longer a concern, and we buy our Bandit's Gloves for a measly 35,000 full, and with these we can start abusing our power even more.
At once. A great storm of destruction is on its way towards Kurik at this very moment.
Claude, what's going on?
Hey there, Reina.
This woman was just shouting some nonsense.
We return to Kurik, and a woman named Philia warns the residents that a disaster is coming, and for the people to evacuate, and Celine calls her a crazy person. I use this opportunity to steal a Sprite's bracelet from the crazy lady, and then we convince some poor kids to play with a lonely rich kid. We need to take a boat to El, so we talk to a sailor at the port who tells us to wait. We head back into the city, and then the ground begins to shake.
Did you feel that?
Help! Honey! Honey!
It looks like that crazy lady was right after all, and with the city and the port destroyed, we are told we must find a new way to get to El, with our new destination being to travel to the Liqueur continent.
Now take that permit with you to the Liqueur continent. If you ask the king over there nicely, I bet he can arrange for a ship to take you to El.
Liqueur?
Kind of out of your way, I know. But if you ask me, that's your best bet. You'll need to go through Harley first, though. That's a port city on the eastern edge of Cross.
To Harley first, then.
On the way to Harley, we stop by the village of Mars, and here we can abuse our pickpocketing skills once again by stealing a goodie bag from an old man. The goodie bag is an item that will give you 3 random items from a huge list of drops, and there is one weapon from this drop list we are looking for in particular. The Sword of Marvels for Claude, which is almost 4 times as powerful as this current weapon. The success rate for stealing this bag is only 13%, and it takes me quite a few reloads to successfully pickpocket the old man. After getting the goodie bag, we save the game again, and I reloaded quite a few times after this, receiving a lot of other weapons and armor that would have been helpful this early in the game. But we are here for that one weapon in this goodie bag that is stronger than the rest. It takes over 30 attempts to finally get the Sword of Marvels, and it is an amazing upgrade to have this early on, and I will soon find out how badly I needed it because a difficulty spike is coming soon. I switched to Claude as party leader to try out our new OP weapon, but we won't actually get to use it for a while.
Is this your mother, Celine?
Yes, I grew up in this village.
Huh. I didn't know Celine was born in Mars.
Have a seat, though, as we were just about to begin.
We learn that Mars is Celine's hometown, and we meet Celine's parents. We find out that all the children in the village have been kidnapped by bandits in the nearby forest and are being held for ransom. The village hired a man named Diaz to rescue the children, who turns out to be a childhood friend of Reina's.
The child in the village simply vanished, as if they were rubbed out of existence. As we scrambled to form a search party, this man here came back from the Forest of Symbols with a disturbing message.
I was by myself in the forest at the time, practicing my symbology. Then all of a sudden, a bandit appeared before me. I steeled myself for battle, but he simply stood there and told me this before he disappeared into the woods. Our boss has your children. If you want them back, bring us 500,000 foal and the secret book.
Reina asks Diaz to join them in rescuing the children and initially rejects her offer but eventually agrees to help. But Claude, being a jealous child, tells her Diaz can't join them. So Reina splits up with Claude and Celine and decides to enter the forest with Diaz.
Listen. I want you to fight along with the rest of us, all right?
It's only been 2 years, you know.
But I...
Well, since it's my sister begging me, I guess I might as well do her a favor at the very least.
Diaz.
But if those other guys wind up getting in my way, I'm just going to pretend they don't exist and get on with it by myself.
Thanks.
You want to be on the road the same time they are?
That's not the point, Diaz.
bandits will be off their guard if we attack them now.
I know, Diaz.
Diaz is known as one of the strongest swordsmen in the land, and right off the bat I notice he's significantly higher level than Reina. With Diaz carrying her, Reina is able to gain quite a few levels while exploring the forest. With many of the battles consisting of me avoiding enemies and healing Diaz as he obliterates everything.
What a waste of time.
Who the hell are you?
Don't waste our time. Get out of our way and leave the forest.
You expect us to listen to that crap?
Where are the children?
I see. Coming here to play the...
Call it what you want. Either way, I'm not interested in dealing with grunts.
Well, let's just see about that.
We encounter some of the bandits, which introduces a new battle mechanic known as enemy leaders. The enemy leader provides buff to the enemy party, and the only way to remove the buff is to take out the leader. I find it amusing that the enemy leader is the same size sprite as the other bandits, but double in size.
Not too bad.
We meet one of the children who tells Diaz her name is Cecile, and he says it's a coincidence that she has the same name as her sister. I am still unaware of the significance of this comment.
That's my job.
Thanks, you guys.
I told you, it's just my job.
Well, still, thanks. My name's Cecile.
Cecile?
Is that really your name, Cecile?
Just a coincidence. She doesn't look anything like my sister.
We reach a cabin where the children are being held, but there are no bandits around. Diaz realizes it's a trap and that the village was the bandits' actual target.
Where's the security here? We ran into a few bandits, but I'd have a lot more guards around if I were trying to hold a bunch of kids hostage.
So what does this mean?
Think about it. Don't you think this whole kidnapping thing is just a big charade?
What are you getting at?
I'm saying that they kidnapped these kids for some other reason.
Bingo. So you finally sniffed us out. Too bad you're deep in the heart of the forest. It's too late for you to turn back now.
The village.
The children are just a bonus to us. They'll be more than worth the trouble once we put them up for sale.
What's going on here, Diaz?
They kidnapped the kids to lure us out of the village. Now they're gonna strike town, wear out the symbologist, and steal all their treasure.
We end up in a boss battle with Azam, and this battle is hard. On Universe difficulty, Diaz goes down quick, and Reina goes down almost instantly. In hindsight, I maybe should have tried this battle controlling Diaz. After many losses, I decide to level up Reina and Diaz's combat skills a bit, and after 2 more attempts, I managed to take Azam down. But what really carries the winning battle is the Latacia support character we unlocked earlier. After beating the bandits, Diaz leaves the party and we rejoin Claude and Celine to head to Harley. On the way, we get to try out our Sword of Marvels, which is one-hit killing enemies. Nice.
Anyone hurt?
In Harley, two guys mention a twin-headed dragon back in Salva, and heading there now would give us a recruitable character named Ashton. The decision to skip this character was the hardest decision I had to make, as recruiting him locked you out of recruiting two other characters later, and I ultimately chose to wait for the other two. We take a boat here to Hilton, and after exploring the town, I end up on a new area of the world map, and there's a huge difficulty spike from the enemies here. I'm grateful I spent the time getting the Sword of Marvels because these battles are really annoying. They hit hard and their health pools are way bigger than the enemies we fought previously. I spend about 90 minutes here grinding a bit and gain 6 to 7 levels, and the enemies are still hitting pretty hard. I'm thinking I will need to invest some time making better armor soon.
Hustle and bustle. This is what the Liqueur Kingdom is all about.
Ha! You sound like some kind of country hick out on vacation.
We finally reached the city of Liqueur, but before we do anything here, we travel to the town of Linga to recruit a new character.
This must be Linga. Hold it. Hold it.
Ah! Look out! What is that thing?
Just stop for a second. Whoa! Ah!
Goodness, what was that?
What's a machine doing in a place like this?
Machine? What's that? What's wrong, Claude? Again! My dad's gonna laugh at me again. I just know it.
This is Pressus, a girl who creates machines with her father, and Claude seems to be surprised to see this kind of technology on this planet. Of course, Pressus instantly ships Claude and Reina, and she begs us to take her along with us on our journey.
I'm telling you, it's okay. I mean, you do have a thing for Claude, don't you? Oh, of course not. Don't be silly. I mean, the sorcery globe fell out of the sky too, didn't it? If I can find it and take it back home, I bet I can use it to make even better stuff than ever before. Besides, you're the only folks I know who'll treat me like a normal girl. Priestess. Really, Reina? Fine, might as well, I guess. Woohoo! I got a few things I need to take care of, okay? I'll join you guys when you're ready to leave town. Go ahead, I'll catch up.
We return to Liqueur, and Claude decides to sign up for the Armory Contest, the typical battle tournament that every JRPG must have. Claude's interest in joining the tournament stems from his desire to fight Diaz. We are told we need a shop to sponsor us, and we get to choose between 4 shops. We aren't allowed to use our own weapons and armor, and all of the shops have pretty mid equipment, so this choice doesn't make a big difference. I choose my shop, then Reina separates from the rest of the party for a bit and meets a little girl who is trying to find a fighter, willing to let her grandfather's shop sponsor them in the tournament. So big brain Reina of course brings the little girl to a tavern to recruit a fighter. No one in the bar is interested in being sponsored, and then Diaz suddenly shows up at the tavern. Meanwhile, the people at the tavern start getting hostile with the little girl. Smart move bringing a little girl here, Reina.
I told you I was entering the tournament.
Did you mean what you said in the Forest of Symbols?
Maybe I did.
It wasn't that long ago, you know. You must be going senile early if you've forgotten about it already.
What the hell, kid? You got a death wish or something?
Tell me one more time how I'm not that much of a swordsman. And I'll cut you in half, little girl.
Well, stop picking on my grandfather's sword!
Oh, what? You saying that doddering old coot's a master swordsmith? Come on, that sword couldn't even slice bread.
How would you know before you try?
Who the hell are you?
The swords of Lacour are masterpieces. There's little room for argument about that. A fine Lacour sword is a weapon of world-class caliber, one that deserves all the reverence it gets.
Ha! Glad someone's got a little taste around here.
But this town's been riding on its reputation for too long, and the quality has suffered. Lacour's swords are getting duller by the year.
What was that?
I've been to every weapon shop in town, and not a single one has managed to catch my interest.
Diaz, you haven't registered with the store yet?
So what? All that proves to me is that you don't know nothing about what makes a good sword.
We'll see about that at the tournament. No sword of yours will be enough to stand a chance against me.
Ha! Tell you what, how about you drop the lip for now?
Diaz gets involved and the men say they will settle this fight in the tournament. Outside, Diaz tells the girl he is interested in her grandfather's sword and needs a sponsorship.
Oh, of course! Granddad Gamgee's swords are the best in the world. You'll win for sure with the one he made. Feverish crowds of people. One after another, the tournament contestants filed into Lacour Castle. It wouldn't be long before Claude would be joining them.
Well, I'm all set. I'll be heading off for Lacour Castle soon.
It is finally the day of the armory contest, but when Diaz arrives, they say his sponsor never arrived with his equipment.
You're Diaz Flack, right? I'm sorry, we haven't received anything from your...
Reina and Diaz head over to the shop and the little girl says her grandfather's sword was stolen and that he's gone missing. They head to the tavern and meet the men they had been fighting with the day before who have stolen the sword.
What are you talking about?
You'll have to do better than that, punk. What about that one hanging off your waist?
What
a waste of time.
Why would these
We
men
get
do
in a
this?
battle with them and these guys are really weak. We make quick work of them, retrieve the sword, and head back to the armory contest.
He's only fought one match, but he's already got every girl in town swooning over him. Oh. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have left right before your fight if I had known you were the very first match.
The tournament is already underway and we find out Claude has already won his first match. Diaz's first match then starts and we don't actually fight in these battles as they play out automatically, but I'm soon going to regret playing out this sequence of the game on universe difficulty.
But he's got his weapon and he's ready for action. Let's see what they've got in store for us.
Mere pawns.
Crescent cross! Crescent cross! Air slash! Air slash!
Not too bad.
Claude's second match starts and then something happens that I did not expect.
This tournament's starting to heat up, folks. We've got the first match of the second round for you, starting right now. Dora Dan is taking on Claude C. Kenny in this match, and it's shaping up to be a monumental battle. Claude's one of our younger competitors. How long can he hold out? Does he have what it takes to win it all? Let's find out!
Here they come! Ha ha! Ha! Ha ha! Ha! Yeah! Ha! Take this! Yeah! Ha ha! Yeah! 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 Ooh! Ha ha! I'm... Ha ha! Got you! Yeah! No! Oh.
He actually loses the match. What the hell? At this point, I began thinking if maybe there was something I did wrong, or if Claude losing the match was just part of the storyline.
Oh, too bad.
Oh, you almost had it, Claude.
Claude. Diaz's match in the second round is up soon, isn't it?
Air slash! Crescent cross! Air slash!
Diaz wins his second match with ease, and then Claude gets pitted into a comeback match that will put him back in the tournament. It looks like his losing battle was actually scripted after all. It looks like it's time for him to redeem himself.
A final chance for vindication. You guessed it, the comeback round. This next battle will pit Claude C. Kenny against Amon Rao. Whoever emerges victorious here will be plucked from the jaws of defeat and returned back into the tournament brackets.
We can win this! I don't... Take this!
He seriously lost again? With his opponent only one hit away from defeat, he still loses the match, and this is the moment I realized that these fights, although automated, are definitely not scripted. I checked the Neoseeker guide for more info, but they don't even mention anything about losing these fights even being a possibility. It is then it occurs to me that the guide I've been following was playing on the normal difficulty. Did I just lose the entire tournament because I'm playing on hard mode?
Aw, Claude! You were sleeping like a baby while we all sat here worried about you?
Sorry guys. I guess I lost.
Well, I'm glad you're taking it well.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't think I've hurt myself anywhere.
The final round begins, and I sit there in shame as Claude doesn't even get the chance to fight Diaz in the finals.
Enemies. Air slash. Air slash. Be gone. Not too bad.
It's over! It's all over! We have a new champion! The winner and new champion of the Licour Armory Contest, Diaz Black! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the king of the tournament!
Diaz! He won!
Claude! Claude, what's wrong?
Claude, where are you going? Isn't that the way to the waiting room?
Diaz wins the tournament, and Claude, feeling salty and honestly feeling quite salty myself, he runs after Diaz, but when he sees him, he's too ashamed to even say anything. And here is where I made a huge mistake. By failing to make it to the final round in the tournament, I locked myself out of one of the best weapons in the game. After the tournament, the little girl's grandfather is supposed to give you a sword, the Deadly Edge, which later on you can enhance to be one of Claude's best weapons. But because I lost all my matches, I don't even get the option to get this weapon. And I also accidentally saved over my save file after the tournament. I had to make a choice. I could simply continue the game and take the loss, or load an older save, and the most recent save I had was right after I finished my 90-minute grind back in Hilton. I couldn't let it end like that. It only took me about 40 minutes to catch back up to where I was, and we had to recruit Pressus again and go through all the scenes of Liqueur, and this time before the tournament started, I temporarily switched the difficulty to normal.
That was easier than I thought.
And there you have it! Claude C. Kenny has won the first match of round 2! The semifinals are coming up next! Come on! I want to hear some noise from you guys!
It was exactly what I expected. Claude easily gets through his battles, and now the energy is completely different, with the party hype with how far Claude has gotten in the tournament.
Claude's absolutely the dreamiest! I can't believe what's happening!
Wow, my heartbeat's going crazy here.
We have our first finalist. Claude C. Kenny has won the first semi-final match. Only 2 battles left, folks. It's only going to get hotter and hotter from here.
Whoa! I can't believe this is happening!
You've made it to the finals, Claude. That's amazing.
I can barely believe it myself.
You've been impressive throughout the entire tournament, Claude. You've gotten so much stronger.
There's something I need to ask, though.
Yes?
Is Diaz still in it?
The smoke has cleared. It's time for the second semi-final match. And what a match it is!
Room.
Sure.
Claude! Hang in there! You can do it!
We finally get our battle with Diaz, and there is only one possible outcome for this match.
Here it is! The moment you've all been waiting for! The explosive conclusion to the Liqueur Armory contest! Claude C. Kenny, D.S. Flack, one battle to decide it all! Who will be the crowned champion? Who is going to reign as the best swordsman in the land?
Don't let your guard down.
Crescent cross! Crescent cross! Crescent cross! Crescent cross!
I can't lose yet. Oh.
It's over! It's all over! We have a new champion! The winner and new champion of the Liqueur Armory contest, D.S. Flack! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the king of the tournament!
No way! What happened?
Claude.
Wait, the tournament! What happened to the finals?
It's already over, Claude.
It's over? So I...
You almost had him beaten, but he came back and won in the end.
Oh, funny, I don't remember any of that. Diaz!
I don't think you're in any shape to talk like that to me, but I'll just ignore it for now.
What do you want?
I thought I'd come over to thank you.
Thank me?
You were better than I ever expected. I haven't had to put 100% into a fight in ages.
Me?
Don't get the wrong idea. It wasn't a compliment.
What?
You try not to spoil him either, Reina. It'll be better for him if you keep him on a long leash.
What are you talking about, Diaz?
That's all I wanted to say. I need to get going.
Diaz!
What?
Will I see you again?
Certainly, if the time comes.
We should leave too.
Are you sure you're okay to go?
I'm still feeling a little lightheaded, but that's all. Must have been out for a while.
Oh, that would be thanks to all the spells Reina had cast on you.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now then, why don't we take some of that energy and focus it on the Sorcery Globe investigation?
It's time for us to continue our quest to the Sorcery Globe, but first we must go to Linga to get the ancient text deciphered. It's been so long I completely forgot about it. We head back to our sponsor for some useless prizes, and then we head to Gamgee's shop, where Gamgee tells us Diaz picked out a weapon for us, the Deadly Edge.
Who are these people, Reina?
This man forged the sword Diaz used in the tournament.
Diaz's sword?
You there! You fought in the tournament, didn't?
Yes, sir.
Actually, Claude was the one with Diaz in the final match.
Of course, of course! I watched the whole thing. That was a very close fight. It could have gone either way in the end.
Oh, I wasn't anywhere near that.
Diaz had nothing but good things to say about your sword fighting, you know. Said he's looking forward to seeing you mature.
He said that?
In fact, he told me to give you something if I happen to run into you afterwards.
You're giving this to me?
That's another one of the swords I've made. He said it'd be a good fit for your size.
Diaz said that?
That guy's pretty shy, isn't he? It'd be a lot easier if he just told you all of this himself.
So, does this mean he sees me as some kind of rival then?
I initially planned to make a playthrough of this game in just one video, but I realized how much footage I was going to end up having. I'm hoping to cover this game over the course of 4 parts, and at the end I will decide if this game really lives up to the hype. I hope to have the next part out in a couple weeks.